king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to magnets, crystals, and pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, yes, always I am who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say to yourself, yes, I am. Protected. Yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes.
Okay, greetings and welcome, family. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Welcome to Miracle Minerals Friday. This is the first in a series that is going to give you concise knowledge of minerals that is crucial to your health. Brother Albert is going to share with you deep knowledge in a basic format so you can develop a cornerstone of awareness. Thank you, Rizees, uh, of understanding minerals from A to Z. In addition, at the end of the show, if you decide you want to invest in your health, look at the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. But this is a class, a workshop, insight on the foundational minerals of nutrition for you to thrive in good health with minimal problems. So this is like miracle mineral mechanics 101. And I want to thank everyone for, oh, thank you, Righty. Loud and clear. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. All right, thank you. So let me just use my other phone to put up the disclaimer. Albert, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Welcome.
All right,
Happy to be
before we
here.
start, um, I'm going to read the disclaimer. This is the medical disclaimer. Information provided on this channel is for educational, informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health providers with any questions you have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. This channel does not endorse or recommend any specific tests, physicians, products, procedures, opinions, or other information that may be mentioned. Reliance on any information provided by this channel is solely at your own risk. All right? Let me see. What other show disclaimer I got? Oh, here's the second one. The content presented on this channel reflects personal opinions, interpretations, and information available at the time of recording. This channel does not intend to offend, harm, or incite hatred towards any individual, group, or entity. The views expressed are for informational and discussion purposes only and may not reflect the views of all viewers or be applicable in all contexts. We encourage viewers to approach these topics with an open mind, conduct their own research, and engage in respectful dialogue. The content is not intended to incite or endorse any forms of violence, discrimination, or harmful behavior. Please be aware the views expressed may be controversial or sensitive to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. By watching this video, you agree to take full responsibility of how you interpret and apply the information provided. Okay, so, Brother Albert, I am going to be backstage, and you got the full floor to take them through the ABCs, starting on a blank page of what
So
minerals are, what's their purpose, and which ones you're going to cover tonight.
yeah,
So,
can
I'm
can I share my screen?
yeah, you can share your screen.
How do I do that?
You gotta what if it's a computer, you gotta use the same show link as you are using on your phone.
I'm not on my phone. I'm on my computer. So I have some slides on my computer that I want to show. So how do I do that?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't know if you got a Mac or a PC.
I have a PC.
All right, just read it then. This is the
Okay.
first show, family.
All
So
right.
like, subscribe, share, and I'll be backstage.
All right. So the first thing, we're going to set it off. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Albert Pierce. I go by Albert the Mineral Nutritionist when I'm talking about this subject matter. And I'm married 43 years. I have three lovely daughters. One just graduated with an MBA from Yale University. She's getting ready to get a big job, I hope. Uh, I did 22 years in the New York City Fire Department. I moved up from the ranks of fireman, or what they call now firefighter, fire marshal. I retired in 2002, January 31, after 22 years, right after 9/11. I said, damn, this job could kill you. So I left that. I've been in the quote mineral practitioner for the past 25 years, and I work with a holistic, uh, what's he call himself? Clinical nutritionist, my boy Dumari and Benge. So before we get going, I'm going to start it off with a poem, and you might not understand the meaning of it right now, but at the end of the show, you should understand what we're talking about. The title of the poem is Womb Certified, WOMB, Womb Certified. When the sperm and egg unite, they create a literal spark, the spark of life. This is only possible because of the crystalloid zinc electrolytes or minerals. The next, oh, that's not the poem. Dang, bless it. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, back to the poem. Womb certified. When the sperm and egg unite, oh God, I'm sorry. I'm rushed here. Okay, here we go. Got it. I got like three things with womb certified. Here we go. When the sparks of love unite within the water of the womb, they ignite, begetting creative stem cells within the bright light power of gestation. Submerge creation in electrolytes of the crystalloid type to form a HUE, human being of the humanoid type. 9 months have passed, as have you, through the love canal as an infant, and within the many years that followed, and to produce an adult such as you. This be what crystalloids can do. Womb certified. Now, you're going to understand the meaning of that, because what we're going to be talking about are the elements. The two elements that Brother Hank and I agreed to talk about are calcium and magnesium. Calcium is the most utilized electrolyte in the body. It's used in more biochemical processes than any other mineral. And calcium is a cofactor. That means they work together, specifically in the contraction and relaxation of your bone. Your muscles. When those guys or yourselves get Charlie horse or cramp, that's an electrolyte deficiency, principally some potassium, some sodium, but principally the magnesium and the calcium. They control the ion channels in your muscle, in your cells, that give the information to your muscles to either contract or relax. So they have to be moving, and a certain like little dance they have to do. One's going in or switching off, while the other one is switching on. And then when you don't have enough of those, one gets stuck. It gets stuck in the contraction mode, and it's very powerful, very painful. So there's only one form of mineral. Now, most of you go to the health food store, and they got all kinds of names for minerals. I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to read this. These are some of the different names of minerals. It's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15 different names for minerals. And that's the right term for these minerals, because when you use the word mineral, you're talking about a compound. Now, these forms apply to all the different elements that we're going to, specifically magnesium and calcium, can be in these different forms. You got magnesium citrate, you got magnesium threonate, you got magnesium oxide, magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, magnesium amino acid chelate, magnesium chloride, magnesium carbonate, magnesium taurate, magnesium hydroxide, magnesium orotate, magnesium sulfate, magnesium lactate, magnesium aspartate, and magnesium gluconate. There's only one form of magnesium, and that's the crystalloid form. You might have heard of colloid. Now, colloid and crystalloid are forms of the elements, or what you call minerals. I call them elements because when they're in your body, they must be in an ionic form. So don't worry, we're going to get to what foods you can eat to get these different things. But first, you have to be grounded on what type of mineral interfaces or can be digested, or what I call cell assimilate. All those things I just read you, they have to be tricked to get into the cell. That's right. These are compounds. Let me tell you a little story. Remember, if you have a choice, the best form of element is dissolve. Crystalloid means dissolve. Colloid means it's a very tiny particle. So the relationship between a metallic particle or heavy metal, because if it's not crystalline, if any of you have ever tasted your perspiration, you know it tastes salty. It tastes salty because it's a salt. What does salts do? Salts dissolve in water. Now, the chemistry, or the chemical way, or the scientific way, you would say that is, it disassociates at the atomic level. It disassociates at the atomic level. That means it marries the water. It's electrolytes, it's electrons, and the water's electrons. They come together and they form a certain structure in the water. When you have the proper diversity of electrolytes and quantity of electrolytes, you have structured water in your body. And structured water is very difficult for disease to take hold. It might get you off for a little bit, but if you got that strong structure. So let me tell you a story. We're going to get back to what calcium does and what magnesium does in the body. But the key is the form. All those different ones you can purchase, all these different ones, and some of you are probably using this different form, but nobody's going to tell you what I'm getting ready to tell you. I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm the only one I've heard talking about this. When you and I were in our mother's womb, we had dissolved elements, or what you would call minerals. And now you can go on YouTube and you can see a picture of what happens when zinc meets the egg. The zinc in the sperm, when the sperm fertilizes the egg, and you know that whole process. You can go to YouTube and look at the sperm and the zinc and the bright light. Now, I've known for many years that the body produces light. These electrolytes produce light. At nerve endings, light is produced every time a nerve fires. I mean, you're not in there, you can't see it, but how they got this picture, I don't know, but I'm very grateful that they got this picture. So you'll see a white light, boom, and then the egg starts shuddering, and all types of colors start moving on the outside of the egg. So what the egg is doing now, it's fertilized, now it's dividing. So the thing in the egg that's dividing are the stem cells. We're not going to get too much into that. I just want to make a point so you know where my understanding is coming from and what it's based on. It's based on observing natural phenomena. It's based on science, biology, all these different things. But I'm going to simplify it tonight somewhat. So when the zinc, in other words, you can't make a baby without zinc. If your sperm don't have zinc, you're not making no baby. Period. Full stop. I don't care what anybody told you. It's the zinc. And there's zinc in the egg too. So they come together, they make that spark. Now, let's just talk about that spark for a minute. Some of you have cable. For example, I have cable. I have what they call vios, or fios, Fios. And I'm old enough to remember. Now, vios is light cable. Those are light signals going through there. I can remember when it was copper cables. Not the pictures was good as far as I knew. But when that Fios came, and 4K and a million K and whatever they got right now to make the picture so crisp and beautiful and bright and colors, you look like you can step through the teeth. That's light. That's how your body works. And dissolved elements are what makes that work in your body. They are the things that all these signals and information and picture taking and stuff are, that's how it moves through your body. Now, some of you might not know that water, H2O, hydrogen and oxygen, is a conductor. And if you don't believe me, if you drop some electricity in a bathtub of water and your behind is in there, you'll feel how that electricity runs through that water. Very dangerous. That's why in bathrooms they have these things called GFI. In case the water gets in there, it shuts off immediately. It has a very quick trigger because water and electricity, they go together real nicely. So your whole body, the water in every cell, inside the cell, intracellular, and the water outside the cell, extracellular fluid, it needs to be fully charged, like your battery in your car. You have to have the electrolytes, your calcium, your magnesium, and the others, so that your body can function optimally. I'm about functioning optimally. Most of us are not functioning optimally because you can only be as healthy as your environment. So, when you're in your mother's womb, there's like 90% of the water in there is filled with these dissolved electrolytes. Now you breathe these electrolytes in as you know, as a fetus. You breathe it in. You're oh, you didn't know you breathe water? Oh, oh, oh. When you're in the womb, you're breathing water. And guess what? I got news for you. You're still breathing water. See, ain't nobody gonna tell you this. This is what I do. Who's saying? What that fool talking about? We breathe water. What that fool talking about? Okay, then, if there's anybody out there that's saying I'm talking nonsense, if you wear glasses, take your glasses off and blow your breath on them, and tell me what's on there. Or just put your hand in front of your face and breathe out diaphragmatically. What's that moisture? What's that moisture you feel? That's water, my brothers and my sisters. You breathe water, and what I call it a thin amniotic fluid. Oh yeah, we going there. It should have some calcium in it. It should have some magnesium in it. It should have all the different elements in the air that we breathe. So when you're in there, you're breathing that amniotic fluid. And the water does a whole lot of different things for you. Amniotic fluid, in early stages of pregnancy, amniotic fluid contains 98% water and electrolytes, or what you call minerals. But the reason why I don't like using the word mineral when I'm doing a presentation or holding a class is because a mineral can be a compound. So those different forms or compounds of the minerals that I read to you, technically they're minerals. But an ionic electrolyte is just the one substance without, it's not compounded. And it doesn't have to be tricked. It doesn't have to be with a citrate, with a picolinate, with a carbon. It doesn't have to be anything added to it to trick it so it can get across the cell membrane. When you have a magnesium or calcium that's dissolved, do you know these electrolytes control the movement of water in and out of your cell? It goes like this. You have the interior or intracellular fluid, and you have the exterior or extracellular fluid, the fluid that's outside of the cell. So let's say the concentration of calcium and magnesium is high on the outside. So it will go into the cell based on the concentration gradient. So if the concentration is high on either side, if it's high in the inside of the cell, intracellular fluid, it's going to move out until it sort of equalizes. And if it's high on the extracellular fluid, it's going to leave and move into the cell. This is what maintains what they call osmotic pressure. So if you don't have enough of these things in there, then your cell wall is loosey-goosey and all kind of little things can get in. But if you're properly mineralized or your electrolytes are in that water to the optimal degree and optimal diversity, that cell wall is strong. And those little wolves and werewolves and vampires can't get in. All right, so that's protection. So 98% water and electrolytes or minerals is derived from the fluids from your body cavity and serum or liquid part of your blood. Now, let's pause it right there. If you How many people know where minerals come from? Some people might say they come from the earth. I'm talking about where are they created? Where were these electrolytes created? The magnesium ion atoms, the calcium atoms, and all the different elements. You know, the elements make up everything. So, where were the elements made? The elements were made, let me show you. This is where the elements were made. You see that star system? All those millions and billions of stars? That's where the elements are made, in stars. It's a process called nucleosynthesis. Do you know that everything is made of hydrogen? What's he talking about? Everything's made of hydrogen. Hydrogen is what? One neutron, one proton, one electron. So everything else is multiples of that. Multiples of hydrogen. Man, if they could start putting these atoms together like that, you can make anything. But I don't think they can, because you need a big sun or that kind of power to make these type of elements. So this is the process of nucleosynthesis. It explains it in here. It's a little flyer that I didn't know how to put my PowerPoint on. But anyway, trust me, we'll do better next time. So these are tremendous powers. Now, different categories of stars make uh, different elements. All stars don't make the same. Our sun is not making all the elements. It might make some of them, but these are big, big, massive things that force all these atoms and muons and gluons and things together to make the protons and neutrons. Now, how does that affect us? Well, these little atoms of electrolytes are what I call stardust. Well, Carl Sagan calls them stardust. So everybody's made of stardust. Everything that's living, uh, everything that's not living is made of this stardust. But we are uniquely created, and we have certain information that was programmed into us. So now, let's talk about this magnesium and this calcium. I'm going to read you. See, different people say, or different experts have different things that they say about calcium and magnesium. We're going to start with calcium. This is from a manufacturer of a friend of mine. Calcium. Calcium is one of the most essential of the major biochemical elements needed in human nutrition. It is needed in every organ of the body, including the brain. Calcium is called the knitter because it promotes healing or knitting everywhere in the body. It is valuable for tone, power, strength, longevity, vitality, and endurance, healing of wounds, counteracting acids, so it's a buffer, and helping regulate metabolism. Because it is used in almost every function, every biological function in your body, calcium is commonly deficient in elements to go out of balance when the diet is inadequate. Calcium is stored in the blood and teeth, as well as in the nerves, muscles, and tissues. Magnesium and vitamin D increase calcium absorption, while sodium helps keep calcium in soluble form in the body. It must be water soluble. Water must be water soluble to be usable. Calcium raises the body's resistance to viruses, parasites, bacteria, and cancer. A lack of calcium leads to a host of diseases and degenerative conditions. Pure water soluble calcium, the form that is in your mother's womb, this is the form I'm introducing you to because that's the form that created you from a spark of light, an egg and a sperm, and within 9 months, you become a full HUE man being. That's how important these things are. And you needed 98% in the water, 98% water and electrolytes in the beginning because you were developing at such a ferocious rate. There's no other time in your development or of your life that you are no, you don't need all that type of minerals when you come out. You need much less. So let me finish here. Cyber form must be water cyber. Uh, A lack of calcium leads to a host of diseases and degenerative conditions. Pure water soluble calcium serves a twofold purpose. It helps reverse symptoms caused by a deficiency of calcium, like acidosis and osteoporosis. A high incidence of cavities or white spots on fingernails indicates a calcium deficiency. This mineral is necessary to regain the proper pH balance. So now I'm going to read from the same booklet. Doesn't say that much about magnesium, but here we go. Magnesium is a natural tranquilizer. That means it relaxes you, helps you go to sleep, calms you down. Called the anti-stress mineral. It aids in relaxing nerves, relieving tension. We do not recommend. Ooh, 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 got lost. And assisting digestion, activating enzymes, important for protein and carbohydrate metabolism, modulating the electrical potential across all cell membranes, across all cell membranes, the electrical potential. Magnesium is important in the production and transfer of energy, muscle contraction and relaxation, and nerve conduction. It also aids in regularity. It is necessary to keep vertebrae in their proper position, induces restful sleep, purifies and purges the body tissues, combats acids, toxins, gases, impurities, and neutralizes poisons. It lowers fevers. Magnesium is stored in the bowel, nerves, and ligaments. Chlorophyll and green vegetables contain large amount of magnesium. Okay, I'm gonna read you another. Now, this next stuff I'm reading you is from the FDA. You can go to the FDA, Food and Drug Administration website, and you can look this up for yourself. So, according to the FDA site, FDA, what it does: blood pressure regulation, blood sugar regulation, bone formation, energy production, hormone secretion, immune function, muscle contraction, nervous system function, normal heart rhythm, protein formation. Where is it found? In the foods: avocados, bananas, beans and peas, dairy products, green leafy vegetables like spinach, nuts and pumpkin seeds, potatoes, raisins, wheat bran, whole grains. Now let's see what good old FDA has to say about calcium. Now remember, I'm not talking about those forms that I read. I'm talking about the water soluble or uh, the form that dissolves in water or crystalloid forms. I'm not talking about colloidal. Colloidal is not dissolved. Colloidal is a heavy metal, and you take too much of it, and you get a thing called agraria, and you could turn blue, and you'll stay blue. There was a guy on YouTube. He was called Blue Man. Now, Blue Man, he passed away, but they interviewed him, and he said, "Look, I'd rather be blue than to have suffered from whatever little malady he had." So he got rid of it, but it made him blue, and he was toxic. So let's see. Calcium is good for blood clotting, bone and teeth formation, constriction and relaxation of blood vessels. So it's not only muscles, but blood vessels, hormone secretion, muscle contraction, nervous system function. And where can we get calcium in the food? Almond, rice, coconut, and hemp milks, canned seafood with bones like sardines and salmon, dairy products, fortified cereals and juices, fortified soy beverages, soy milk, green vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, turnip greens, tofu made with calcium sulfate. Now, let me explain something to you. If you eat uh, commercial cereals like cornflakes and things, and Cheerios and things, if you read the box and it says fortified with, that means it's heavy metals. It's not the type of minerals or elements I'm talking about. I think there was something else I saw on YouTube where the guy he had some cereals and he put them in a plastic bag and he crushed them up very fine, and then he took a magnet and he pulled out that fortified iron that was in the cereal. So whenever you see the word fortified, that means it's heavy metal, calcium, heavy metal, uh, iron, or whatever. Now, if you go to the health food store and you get a bottle of the best iron they have, sometimes there's a warning on the label. Be careful. Don't leave it around children because if you take too much of it, it can prove fatal because it's a heavy metal. If you breathe in oxygen, if you just breathe it in and hold it, I mean, fill your lungs up with it, and you just breathe in, like when you're running and you're breathing, you know, I mean, you can hyperventilate if you just go crazy, but your body takes what it needs. It's the same thing when you have the elements that are dissolved in water. Your body you can take a lot more than you need. My theory is, my philosophy is, my opinion is, you have to have more. You have to take in more food than your body needs to get the amount of food that your body needs. If you don't believe me, let me give you an example of that. If someone falls out and can't breathe, I have enough unused oxygen in my breath, my exhalation, to bring that person back. That's a fact. So when you eat, you have waste products that come out of you. So your body doesn't burn up everything. You have to take in more than you need. And the beautiful thing, when you take in water soluble nutrients, not only minerals, but anything that you eat has to break down to a form where it can cell assimilate, where it can go in there. Now, some things your cells go out and grab and things, and they can do the rest of it. But they can't do that with heavy metals. Your body cannot break down heavy metals. Your body cannot break down things they call fortified. If that was the case, then you can just get a rusty nail and just lick that rusty nail and get all the minerals you need. And you'd be very healthy if your body could break down those elements. But it can't. You have to, yeah. So, and the reason why you get these things, the food, okay, let me just drill down on the form again of the calcium. So you're talking about broccoli and green leafy vegetables. How do those elements get into the food? Well, those foods are grown in the soil. So the soil has to have those elements. And the root system, they have root tip and they have all types of roots down there doing different things. But the elements must be dissolved before the plant can bring them. So the plant is what sorts the calcium and the magnesium for this lesson. And then we eat it and we get it. And it's my opinion that the good book says we were in a garden. That makes perfect sense to me, that we're around a garden. You see all these different tribes that they're finding that have never even seen civilization. Oh, their skin is beautiful. They don't have any cavities. They don't have any disease. They don't know about no cancer, none of this stuff, because they were in an environment. You can only be as healthy as your environment. And your food, that's why you water the ground. You water the ground so that the plants and things, the vegetables, the trees can pull up the water soluble or dissolved nutrients. Now, if there's some water soluble poisons in there and there's a concentrated amount, the plant will pull that up too. Or if it's some fertilizer with some compounded elements in there and there's a lack of the water soluble form, it'll pull that up too. So you'll be getting dead food. Oh, it'll look good. It might even halfway taste good, but it won't have the nutritional density. Listen, if the only thing that's living are the elements, they don't die. They're always on. They're always working. They're always moving. They're always generating. These elements we're talking about, the calcium, the magnesium, and all the different electrolytes. They have three things going. They bring electricity. And if you have electricity, then you have magnetism. You can't have either one of those without the other. Electricity, magnetism, and you go to that YouTube channel and you can see they bring light. Just like in the darkest depths of the ocean, where you have these no light shines, but the Most High saw fit. It's called the biological light, biochemical light. Boy, I tell you. So you know some minerals involved. You know it's got to be some electrolytes, some kind of chemical reactions with these electrolytes in these animals. And some of those animals down there use that light for a lure. And the little creature comes and sees that light, bam, he gets eaten. He's so shocked to say, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" And he says, "Curiosity," gets eaten up. So that's the main thing I want to share with everyone is when you're looking for these elements, you want the ones that your body can cell assimilate. Now, when they say absorb, that only means it goes into the bloodstream. That doesn't mean it goes into your cell. It says absorption rate. Now, the crystal, the calcium and the magnesium, any element that's in the proper form, the dissolved form, the crystalloid form, when it doesn't go into your intestines. At the upper intestines, it's the duodenum and the duodenum, right there. As soon as it comes out the stomach, that's where the dissolved electrolytes, that's where they absorb and go into your blood serum. Now, most of the that's the liquidy part of your blood. That's the part where it's similar to the amniotic fluid. That's where the dissolved elements and dissolved nutrients are in, and in that water, it can go right into the cell. It doesn't have to trick it. It doesn't have to coat it with a protein where the phagocyte or in the different ways the cell wall comes in and grabs it in. You have what they call ion channels on your cell membranes. So an ion, and some people talk about colloids are ionic. Ionic doesn't only mean it has a charge. Ionic also means it has a size and a form. It must be able to dissolve in the water. And the only form that I know dissolves in the water is a crystallized form. Do you know that sodium first is a metallic? It's a sort it's a soft silvery looking metal. And then through certain geological processes, it's digested into the table salt that we know now. So it goes from a metal form to a crystal form, where when you put it, or crystalloid or dissolved means when you put it in water, it dissolves. And those are the things. So your cell is structured, it has what they call ion channels. And these electrolytes are going in at a phenomenal amount, millions and millions every second. That's right, millions a second. Millions just going in. There's nothing going on that cell membrane but lightning. It's all electricity. So a colloid is down to a micron. It's measured in microns, not even nano. It's measured in A micron is 1 millionth of a meter. Some of you might have heard me before, and it's good to be reinforced. A micron is 1 millionth of a meter. Then the next size down is nano. That's 1 billionth of a meter. And then the size I'm talking about, when the elemental size, crystalloid size, is angstrom size. That's 10 times smaller than nano. So a lot of times people say something is nano when it's really micron. So if if something is point five of one, it's not one, it's half of one. So if something is point five nanos, it's not quite a nano. It's smaller than a nano, but they use trickery to make you think it's down at the angstrom size. But the angstrom is what the size is of the dissolved elements. Those are atomic measurements. So that's pretty much the story for the calcium and the magnesium. Now, next week we'll probably talk about silver, and yeah, we'll talk about silver next week. Maybe silver and zinc next week. Since I mentioned zinc already with the egg, we can go into where you can get the zinc from and where you can get the elements from. Now, I don't know, Hank, can people ask questions? I mean, it's been like 50 minutes I've been talking. Hank, you there? Hello. Anything in the chat? Hank.
You all done?
Yeah, I'm done. I just told him we could talk about silver and zinc next week.
All right.
Does
Folks,
anybody have any
like,
questions or anything?
uh, maybe next week. No questions so far.
Okay, very good.
All right, family. Want to thank you for joining us on a Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. And Albert, that was a good show, man. I
Well,
think you're
thank you,
on to
brother.
something.
Thank
Right
you.
on.
Peace.
Blessings.